Rev Mel's ninja skills will kick your ass. She will love you long time. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Rev Mel Show. It is all about tattoos with our wonderful, wonderful guest, which is Captain Dave. And look at who we have. We have Dory. Do I say that right?
Well, it's Dory, but Dory works just
Dory,
fine.
Dory. I wanted to call her, Dora. What's that?
Oh,
Dora?
no, do not let that one stick, please.
And what she's going to be doing is, what are you doing there, Captain Dave?
Well, she has a Taurus symbol on her lower back.
A Taurus? Are you a Taurus?
Oh, very much so.
Ah, she's like me. Cool.
So she has, we're adding flames to her Taurus.
You're going to add flames to it?
Yes.
Eventually some water and then some star. It'll be a whole back piece, but
So how long have you had this tattoo?
about 5 years now.
And
I got it on it's a design that I've had since high school, but I got it on a whim for my senior year of college. Oh. Hi, microphone. There you are. Is that better?
No, not really.
No? Is that better?
Is it on?
All right, I'll just hold it. So,
is that better?
is that better?
All right. Now we can
I
hear
got
you.
the handheld.
I've had it, it's fine. I've had it for 5 years. Got it my senior year of college just before classes started, like the day before. And I've had the design since high school. And I was like, finally, just do it. I was going to do it, and I did.
And who did the tattoo?
It was the tattoo shop above a bar I used to go to all the time. So it was just kind of that. Everybody I knew, who had tattoos, where'd you get it done? And they were all out of state.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm not traveling that far.
So you got drunk and went upstairs and had
No, luckily I was sober, thank the Lord. But I went by myself, which was an interesting experience, doing your first tattoo by yourself.
And
Not only did she go by herself, but supposedly she was singing a song while her tattoo was being done. She
He had
hit a
the
high
radio
note.
going. He had the
She hit a
radio
high
going.
note and jumped or something
I
like that,
just moved a little, so there's a little imperfection.
So what
which I
song
think
were
is
you singing?
hilarious.
Oh, I can't even remember. It was some pop song at the time. I honestly think it was Britney Spears, which is why I have an aversion to her. But
I think that Solaris has some questions from the chat room.
Yeah, I do. Captain Dave, they're wondering if you do slid scales.
What are slid scales?
Yes, what are slid scales?
I have absolutely no idea. If you ask that question, please call us at 818-731-7942 because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Inquiry minds want to know what slid scales.
Also, is older skin harder to tattoo than younger skin?
A little bit, yes. It's a little thinner, and depending on how well a person takes care of themselves, I mean, it is harder.
Now, what about dry skin as opposed to oily skin? Is there any difference in that?
No, not so much difference in dry and oily. It's mostly skin texture, as far as how tight the skin is, how loose the skin is, how old you are, and again, I'll bring up the tone of your skin. The darker you are, it's almost like putting a piece of white paper behind tinted glass. Once you put that paper behind tinted glass, the darker the tint gets, the harder it is to see the paper. It's kind of the same subject when you put pigment into somebody's skin.
And how many different colors do you use? Like, what do you use to tattoo with the colors?
Everything, I mean, just about every color is made except for, like, something with metallics or metal flake in it, which, wouldn't actually go into your skin very well, or you would get an allergic reaction to it immediately.
So what is the ink exactly made out of?
It's a pigment. A lot of it's originally, it's a powder form, and it comes from, like, plants, flowers, ground up dirt, stuff like that.
Ground up dirt?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ground up dirt.
So, what are you doing right now?
I'm sketching out some flames on her back that would be appropriate.
And what do you use to sketch it out?
This is a skin pin.
A skin pin?
It's like a ballpoint pen. They're called salt pens. It's a ballpoint pen that was made to kind of basically draw just about on anything. And they're all disposable and you can throw them away. Wow. They're quick and easy.
Solaris, did you have any more questions from the chat room?
No, I think that was really it. I'm actually just wondering myself, because you're doing it freehand, how did you guys negotiate exactly what was going to happen and exactly how the tattoo was going to be?
I have total faith in him.
Okay, so
in
it's
his work. So
Yeah, Meow.
Thank you, Meow.
And I did some preliminary sketches.
Yeah, there's some sketches.
I know that she knows his work because Meow's gotten several tattoos. Meow, do you want to show any of your tattoos?
Not right now. So when they're
Meow, I'll show them
Yeah,
a little
you
bit
wanna
later.
Open up the page for her so they can show the sketches. And this is one of our PAs, Meow.
Meow.
This is the idea.
This is like raw, rough drawing of what I pictured in my mind, and so it'll eventually be something similar to that. And then he did
That's
some tracing.
Absolutely gorgeous.
What he's gonna do, I'm sure is gonna be much better. But like the water and yeah, I'm very impressed with what he did. And we talked, and he showed me some other tattoos, some other versions of flame, and so it's a combination of the two.
Now, and one of the other things, Captain Dave, when somebody comes to you, like Doria, who has a tattoo already from another artist that's completed and in its entirety, and somebody wants to add on, do you ever look at the tattoo that somebody else did and say this is a piece of shit?
Well, I have.
Or say it can, or say,
I'm not gonna
or
lie.
say it cannot be done.
There are some things that I can say cannot be done, but I will definitely throw out alternatives as soon as possible so I don't lose that customer.
One of the questions I want to ask you, a lot of people are getting the glow-in-the-dark tattoos, right? You don't see only unless you're underneath glow-in-the-dark.
It's a blacklight tattoo ink. Originally, they came out with a pigment which actually had bits and pieces of phosphates in it, which are actually cancer-causing to your skin.
Really?
But immediately, companies went in and tried to figure out another formula that the pigment would stay in your skin. I personally don't use it, but I'm open to use the newer stuff that's out now because it's supposedly a lot more hypoallergenic, and it's just some of it's hard to work with. The whites that you would put in that would almost glow like a yellow under a black light. It's hard to see sometimes when you're putting it in. That would take a little bit of time and practice for me, but other than that.
We have a question from you. Hello, it's Rev Mel. May I help you?
Mel, it's Dove.
Hello, Dove Glass, one of our sponsors. What can I do for you, Dovey?
I was curious about if I was to get tattoos on my forearms or my lower arms with the amount of heat that I have on my arms, what kind of issues I would run into with that.
The amount of
Dove does he blows glass. He does glass blowing, and he wanted to know if it would cause a problem with, would he lose the tattoo? Would it cause any problems?
If you burned it by accident, then there's a possibility. There's like a 50% chance you're going to lose a little bit of the pigment that goes into your skin. You'll have like a little light spot in those spots. But as far as just working around heat itself, you shouldn't have a problem.
How do you like that, Dove?
Well, I guess I will just have to do trial by fire.
Great. I guess you're just going to have to go over to, what's the name of the place where you work at again?
Studio City Tattoo.
Studio
City
Tattoo.
And get a tattoo from Captain Dave. Thank you, Dove. I love you.
Thanks. Love you too, baby.
Bye, baby.
Bye.
And if you have any more questions from the chat room while he's doing this, please call us at 818-731-7942. And we would love to speak to you.
Just say it out loud. What?
I would say take a picture so she can see.
So have you gotten it all sketched in?
I've got a sketch on her, yeah. I want to make sure she's completely
Happy
stoked
with it?
on it.
I was
it's
extremely
a pin
giddy
sketch.
earlier. I'm so excited to get this done.
Yeah, she was jumping.
I was jumping. I was dancing.
We'll take another question.
Me too. She punched me in excitement over this.
Hello, it's Rev
She's
Mel.
smiling.
You like it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Hi, Mel. It's Pet.
Who is this?
It's Pet. Leela.
Hello, Ken. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. There's people asking in the room about the pay scale, like what his fees, how he charges.
Oh, the pay scale.
Pay scale. Oh, okay.
He doesn't take blowjobs. We know that.
But then again,
he may be reconsidering.
as far as the pay scale goes, the shop I work at, we have a $80 minimum for most of our smaller tattoos. So if you want a dot, somewhere from a dot to like a small like nickel quarter-size tattoo, you're gonna be paying $80 for it. But at the same time, you're paying for the artist and the cleanliness of the shop.
That is Better Business Bureau.
And we are part of the Better Business Bureau.
And then does it go up on an hourly rate from
The hour-
there for larger pieces?
Yeah, the hourly rate is $125 an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
honey. Have a good day or a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So let's talk about that cleanliness,
Yes.
because it's really important. I've noticed that you have prepared this table. You've put cellophane over the top of it completely, and everything is covered with cellophane. Why do you do that?
It creates a barrier, just in case I have any mishaps with my ink caps here and spill ink everywhere. But also, too, from doing the actual tattoo, it doesn't go that deep into the skin, but we do get a little bit of plasma in the machine itself, or the actual tube part of the machine. And, if I were to spill the ink or something, then some of her DNA would be flying everywhere. So we want to keep it clean as possible.
And then if she died,
But
in
I
your
also want
house,
to keep
then I'd
it...
be in trouble. Or if she died somewhere else, I could trace her to me, right?
Exactly. Also, you just want to keep that surface of the area clean as possible, so you know you're not transmitting anything while you're doing the tattoo.
Do you have a fear of transmitting blood when you do tattooing for yourself?
I do. It's a safety issue. I wear gloves. I wrap and bag everything that I can possibly to continue it to work. And I try to keep my face a little ways away.
I think Lady Solaris has a question.
I'm actually curious as to the laws regarding tattoo guns. I know that because this is a show about sex and we do talk about BDSM a lot, some of the people in the audience are probably thinking, wow, that would be a really cool tool to use on somebody for BDSM play.
But I have seen BDSM, inkless tattooing done, scenes. It's been incredible to watch.
But what is it for, like, the average person? Do you have to have a license in order to get the machines or in order to tattoo somebody else?
It's best to go through and at least have, so your safety classes as far as OSHA.
Can you turn this way a little bit so we can see what you're doing?
It's good to have like your OSHA classes, your bloodborne pathogen class, just so you have an idea what you could be up against as far as disease control and cleanliness. As far as tattooing goes, some counties wish you to have an actual certificate. Say you're a tattoo artist, so you took a certain amount of classes, that you paid them their money. Some counties don't really require it, just as long as you know what you're doing. Tattooing, like I said, is kind of one of those weird, odd trades that kind of falls under like a weird spectrum. They have classes. Certain states, they tell you they want you to have want you to be certified. So you take your classes, not only your bloodborne pathogen class, but now they're bringing in tips and trades of the actual tattooing, the business, and what you're actually doing with your machines and your power supply and whatnot. State of California doesn't really. They're changing the laws right now. It's been going on for a little while, just because a lot of tattoo artists actually got up and said, "Look, we're following 1940s laws. Back when we used to have plastic acetate stencils, we'd put on somebody with some powder, and we'd have to sterilize each one of those plastic stencils. Well, now we use paper, so it gets thrown right in the trash. Most of everything that we use in tattooing now is you throw away.
What about the ink? Does the ink that you guys use now bleed less than